So like mom and dad tell me I'm adopted at 5 and um I mean, and with the mouthpiece that I've always had on me, I mean, I go off to school here in the neighborhood and I mean, I've never had no qualms, about me being adopted. I just never have. And nor telling anybody. I mean, hell, it's my identity. And like, but I've never in my life forgotten like people that kids being kids, and shit. And like I immediately started getting treated different by people that look like I do. Um as if I was something less than. And like so here I am, growing up and I mean, I'm an angsty kid. For real. Like but I was justified in it and I knew it. Like I mean, so about I think age 14, yeah, going into high school, I end up getting another bit of information from my mom, and she like I was born under my biological mother's last name, which um may or may not happen, or may not even be in existence. And I was also told that my biological father was dead before I was born. I was born in Wichita. And so here I am, and at 14, I'm not only adopted, but I have no way of tracing my own bloodline to anywhere.
Yeah, so but if you were under your biological mom's name, when did your legal adopted name change? Or
Oh,
did you start school in kindergarten as
I started school as Michael Tomer. Like my parents had
okay.
me if I've been according to them, they probably had me like got me about one. So I've literally never known nobody else.
Okay.
I so go through all that um and it's just like yeah, like I never growing up, in those conversations when you're getting to know people, like conversations about lineage, like I couldn't enter those for my lifetime.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
did that bother you? Did that bother you or did you care or
it, I think it just was a state of being at that point for me. It wasn't a bothersome thing necessarily, but it was something. I mean, hell, it was something I couldn't shake.
so
And
let me ask you this. Were
yeah,
you a troubled kid? You know what I mean? Cuz it's always that stigma that foster kids, adopted kids, they're just quote unquote bad, because they have these anger issues or they have these, things that they don't talk about. Like, were you that kid ever?
I mean, I'm not gonna say, that um, I'm, I don't think I was a bad kid, but I mean, But yeah, I was I was angry, and I had like every damn right to be. But it was somewhat easy to deal with in a sense because of the fact that um like I said, it was a form and a state of being for me. So it it's like I had no choice. So I learned to deal with it. Like you always, hear mentors and adults and parents talking about, learning to control your anger. Well, I had no choice
Mm.
but to learn that, and from a very early age. And like nothing but love for mom and dad, but like if they may have made one mistake, it was me finding out too soon.
Now, why would you think that's a mistake? I thought, wouldn't it be more devastating to go your whole life, thinking these are your parents, and then one day it's like, bam, whoa, wait a minute, what? At
Yeah,
least, as an early age, you can.
I mean, yeah, for real though. It's like, I mean, good God. I mean, I'm in kindergarten going to school like in full knowledge of being adopted and knowing
Yeah.
what that meant. And
How did this conversation go? I mean, I think a
oh
lot of
hell,
times parents,
oh my
you
God,
don't remember?
I don't, but I somehow know that the way they explained it to me was in language that a 5-year-old mind could understand.
Okay.
I do I remember details? No, I don't.
Did you
Um
have questions? Like at 5 or in elementary, did you have questions? Did you
oh
look at the world different or like
the entire hell I looked at God different. Why are you playing? I was when I tell you I was big pissed I was. Um but somehow, and I know a huge part of that somehow for me, I learned at 5 years old, how to not only it. Maybe at one time I would have called it suppress my anger, but no, I learned how to control and I learned how to use my anger. Because
okay.
the way I figured it, I was adopted and I was gonna be angry, so fuck it. I mean, for real. Like I had no choice. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, going to like family reunions, if you guys have any, like, did that make you look at everybody different? Did you feel like the black sheep?
oh, always. And the thing is, it wasn't even that it was, I'm overthinking and I'm over exaggerating. No, damn it, I'm adopted. Yes, I'm the black sheep. I mean, it's a not so simple thing that for some damn reason it was mad simple for me. Like I had no choice. It was either be who I am or be somebody who's a lie. And I'm not that dude. And so it's like family reunions though, like even my grandparents were, I mean, dope. Like my dad's side of the family, didn't really have family reunions. Like they got together when I was a kid, like with his side of the family. And, my dad grew up in this small little town, like north central Kansas, like 30 miles from like the Nebraska border. It's like that area of Kansas where that upgrade begins to the Rockies. And I
Right.
remember going up there, I was closer to his side of the family than I was my mom's. But my mom's side of the family did family reunions. But yeah, I've always felt like the black sheep. And I mean, that's nobody's fault. It is what it is. And you brought up, this notion that black sheep are bad. No, we're not. It's based on what we've been through that made us the black sheep. It's it's uh it's a reason you ain't gonna tell a black sheep that their perception of what they're seeing is not accurate. I'm the black sheep. No, it's not. like like you ain't finna tell me different. And um be like it's just the black sheep of the family is the one that ends up developing as they get older. I guess it what was at the point of reveal something that, yeah. And I mean, I'm talking, I find out I'm adopted, and at one time, like, whereas when I was a child, I mean, good God, like I'm so thankful for music, and I'm so thankful for my relationship to it. Like, based on what I've been through, I was the 7-year-old that knew by memory more of Genesis's like catalog than any 7-year-old should have. Like, I thank God for music. It gave me it it let me know that I wasn't alone in the world, because I felt like I was. And I mean, good God, like I used to go to sleep as a kid listening to 98.9 The Rock after dark because of the power ballads. IBSU not. Like my mom, as you're well aware, mom's a teacher and a phenomenal
Yeah.
one. And
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like every teacher that I had that was in the district knew who my mama was. And I'll never forget. I remember going to going to grade school in like Metallica and Poison t-shirts, and the teachers got scared and shit and called my mom.
Ah,
Yeah, for real though. And it's just like, I mean, but I thank God for those groups. Like, I mean, what 7-year-old should have been listening to Poison and Metallica? Hi, I'm him. Because they helped me get through. And I mean, and from that, like, yeah, I was definitely the Jimmy of the neighborhood. Like, I fell in love with hard rock from the very beginning, and then hip hop found its way around, and everything else came with it.
yeah.
And but music helped me get through. I mean, there were time there. I mean, yeah, like anger has been something I've dealt with my entire life. Depression, Um, it's like, but hindsight being 2020, I'm mad grateful for the journey.
Yeah.
Just even as messed up as it was. I mean,
Yeah.
mom and dad never treated me. I mean, they never treated me wrong. I'm not gonna say that they always treated me right, but like, I mean, and then you throw in the added layer of the fact that I have a little sister that biologically is theirs, that's 2 years my junior.
Mm.
So, and it's like it was mad crazy. It's like it. It's like, statistics and shit. You always hear these things about, the firstborn is this and the firstborn gets that.
Yeah.
Well, in spite of the fact that I am, I came before her, I'm not the firstborn. She is. And I think
Yeah.
that in spite of the fact that they did everything they could not to treat her and I differently, there's no way that they could have accomplished that
Yeah.
because
I can see that.
of the fact that I'm not their bloodline.
I can see
Tried it,
that.
and
But I mean, girl versus boy, you didn't have competition there. You
true,
know.
but good God, like hell, I can even remember being a kid and I don't know what the hell I did. It was either I did something myself or I did something to my sister. I forget which. But they were trying to discipline me for something, and I've never forgot this. Whatever the hell it was, and it took me literally a lifetime to understand this. But what they were trying to discipline me for something, and I told them you can't do that because you ain't my parents anyway. And I hauled ass up
Ooh,
to my
those are
room.
fighter words.
Uh huh. And I was like 10.
Yeah, those are fighter words.
And I ran off to my room. And but here's what ended up going down is the fact that I gave them every reason to chase my ass down in that moment. And they didn't. Um and it literally just took me a lifetime to understand why they didn't. And I truly, to this day, think that they didn't chase me down because I was right.
Hmm.
They they let me be.
So, did you ever search for your biological, at least your mother?
Well, like I said, all of this went down Wichita 1979, and like um it's not as if I didn't want to, but it was never a choice because the files were closed by law.
Mm.
I had no choice. It was never a choice for me to, you know, get in touch with any damn buddy. and find out who this woman was. Because I mean, as time goes on, people get married, names change. I really never had a name to go on besides the one that was on my birth certificate, and name may no longer exist. So I just literally went on with my life. Like I can remember, like I when I was a kid, I didn't initially dig reading, but over time, I ended up getting into it heavily, and I can remember reading The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton.
Oh, we all had to read that with Pony Boy
Indeed, and the beauty
and
of
Soda
like,
Pop.
yep, the beauty of that story for me is it confirmed everything that I was feeling. And but so I, just continue to go, I guess, on throughout my life, without any real knowledge of self, and try to figure out who self is or what self is. But I had nothing to attach, and I had nobody to attach that to.
So on your actual birth certificate, it lists your mother's name, your bio mother.
Yeah, because my biological father was dead, and they hadn't gotten married at my point of conception.
So did it list your bio father on there as
No,
well?
no, it was just her.
Because your mother didn't know who your father was, or it
No,
was just
I mean, he was dead. He died on the
yeah,
back
but
of.
you still list the father.
No, it. No, it wasn't there. Um. So yeah, it's like my birth certificate. Like, okay, there's a beginning and an ending.
So would you be interested in finding biological family, or how does that work?
It's well, see it. On one hand, yes, and I and then like along the line, when ancestry and then followed by like 1, 2, 3 and me or whatever the hell the other one is.
23, 23 and me.
That one, yeah, that one. um, it's like those became a thing, and I mean, please believe I thought about it, but and but at that time I wasn't real keen to the thought of giving my DNA to somebody. But then again, I am a veteran, so the government already has
I
it.
was gonna say what? I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
understand that.
yeah. But hey, it is what it is. My dad's a nom vet. What you want? Like, shit, this motherfucker. Yeah, no, no, we don't trust them over here. Anyway, so I never did any of it.
Yeah,
I
but I mean, it's not too late. Like, would you be open to the idea
At
of,
this point,
you
yes.
know,
At this point, I think it could be fun. um,
I mean, would you reach out to the people that reach out to you, or would you reach
mhm,
out to the people on your own, or
yeah, I would. I would do it. But like interestingly enough, and you and I kind of hit on a little bit of this last time we spoke, but like so here I am, and I think I was about, yeah, I hadn't turned 40 yet. And I'm sitting at home one night, and at that time I was working graveyards. And so I I'd wake up every day at like 6 p.m. Eastern, and I would sleep during the day, so I'd keep my phone on silent all day. And I wake up like I did any other day, and at like 6, and I, roll over, look at my phone, and I've got a voicemail. So I listen. It's from a 913 number, and I'm back east at the time, and like I listened to this voicemail, and it's from the Kansas Children's League out of Topeka. And as soon as I heard, like, I did like when I heard the voicemail, my brain went, "Oh shit, it's 5 o'clock," like back there. And I'm thinking they trying to close, and it's the night before Halloween. And it's like, so yeah, this happened on October 30th that year, Devil's Night. And my brain immediately got off the phone. Like, I got the hell off of the voicemail, and I immediately called my mom. Like, and I said, look, I'll call you back and explain later. This, do you have anything to do with this? Okay, no, bye. Like, and then so I call up. I call from Pennsylvania, where I was at the time, to Topeka, and there's basically a agent waiting on me on the other end of the phone. And come to find out that my kid half brother that I didn't know existed at the time had overtime talked our biological mother into opening the file. And the very first time I spoke with him was literally Halloween night that year.
Oh, y'all got in touch immediately.
Indeed. And so, we talked on the phone, for a good long while, and uh come to find out he was currently in the Navy, just like I was. And then to add another layer, he was literally in Norfolk, Virginia, and I was only a few hours away.
Oh wow! Did you guys wind up meeting?
Eventually, yeah. So he ends up, and since then, like, I've actually spoken with my biological mom probably 3 times, and she lives in Wichita. Well, but getting back to him and me, so sometime after him and I first connected, me and my wife are getting divorced, and it's at the beginning of COVID. And when her and I separated, and instead of coming straight back to Kansas City, I ended up riding down the East Coast and headed down to Norfolk for the weekend before I came home. So
super cool.
So I not only met my kid half brother, it was the first time I'd been on a Navy base in 20 years, and it was the first time I'd seen the ocean in 20 years. So a lot happened that weekend, and then after I left Norfolk, I came back home. And I've probably talked to our mom, and something he explained to me, with in one of our conversations, was that as the story goes, around the time, and he's like, I'm 44, he's somewhere in his like mid to late 30s, so we're not separated age wise by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, um but is the story as he tells it, is around the time he was 18, him and our biological mom were in a conversation, and she had a Freudian slip. Hello. and and of course, he's trying to get more info out of her, and she respectfully declined at that time to talk. And so, but over time, he he got her to talk about it, and she is still under the impression that I'm angry when
Wait,
that.
so was it ever told why you were giving up for adoption?
Well,
Was she a
again,
young parent or
again,
like
that you've got to figure, this is small town, 1979 Kansas. And this is a woman that had just had a baby that was a bastard. So subsequently, she gave me up for adoption, which I'd kind of always known that. You know what I like? Um, and for me, it's like, even in, growing up and going through all this stuff, like, somehow I've kind of always known that she did the right thing, even though like it put me in the position. But I think like probably a lot of parents that definitely adopted kids back then, maybe even now, um I think a lot of them didn't quite know what it was they were getting into.
mm,
um it's like my mom and dad did everything they could do, to treat me like their own. But in spite of all of their efforts, there was a part of me, my existence, that just wasn't there for me. And
so
that's not their fault.
so your bio mom only had one other kid after you?
Yeah, a
I
couple
guess that
years.
you know of?
Yeah, a couple years later, or yeah, a few years later. Um,
Okay.
as far as I know, but like, I mean, and like I said, I've talked to her, and she knows that they ain't nothing but 3 hours between us.
Yeah.
And um, last time I talked to her, I pretty much left the ball in her court, because she's the one that's still dealing with the issue, not me. I dealt with it. I dealt with it at 5 years old.
So did you ever go to therapy?
Started therapy for the first time about a year ago.
Okay. Okay. But your parents, your adoptive parents never suggested therapy or school counselor or just to make sure your mental was okay. I understand that was like 70s, 80s. That wasn't really a thing.
Real talk.
But
Um, Therapy's not cheap. My mom
That
was
part.
my mom was a teacher, and my dad worked for the state. And
Yeah, but
so
sometimes it's in the benefits.
I get it, but and then as far as I'm concerned, my part in it in therapy was I could never afford it in spite of the fact I needed it. And I probably
Right?
I needed it my whole damn life, but no, it was never an option. It bugs me out just the fact that my I mean, my therapist was a godsend. I mean, the word pro bono is involved in this situation, and because now I couldn't afford it. Um,
Yeah.
and she's even told me that I'm better mentally than probably what a lot of people in my situation would have been. It it is so as far as me meeting her, I'm pretty much done with it. I mean, for me, it's never even been about wanting a relationship with her. I just wanted knowledge of self. That's it. That's it. That's all. And
So
I've
you
got
never met your bio mother?
no.
Okay. Have you seen a picture?
Yeah, and I dead ass look like her. And cool, I'm back. Sorry about that.
We're back
Um,
from commercial break.
indeed. Um, but like and as far as anybody who is adopted that ends up hearing this going forward, like the not like the knowledge of self that I've gained from purely knowing where I came from. Like my mom and I were having a conversation a few days ago, and she asked, "What difference does it make?" Like she thinks, or a part of her does, that I'd be better off. But because in all reality, if you end up, if you're in my situation and you get the quote unquote opportunity to speak or connect or meet somebody in your bloodline, please prepare to be ghosted. Real talk.
Mm, mm.
I
That's
mean,
deep. Now,
I
why ghosted? Like, why that expectation?
because that's what my biological mom has done to me.
That's not necessarily always true, though, right?
I can't speak on always. In my case, it is. I can't. I mean,
Okay.
it may not go
So,
that way for other folks, but I mean, like my biological mom's 3 hours from here. We've never met. She has my number. I left this in her hands last time we spoke, and I know for a fact that she comes into Kansas City every 3 months. The writing's on the wall. I'm good.
so does that give you, even in your adulthood, a sense of abandonment?
If I was a young man, I'd say yes, but at this stage, no.
I mean, but it things like that leak over into different areas of your life where you don't even realize it. A lot of times it's relationships, you know. So it's that sense of trust, that sense of abandonment, that sense of commitment issues, you know. It
Oh, but
leaks
I've
over
had,
into different,
and
you
it
know,
does.
different areas of your life without you necessarily acknowledging it. It just kind of
Acknowledging,
happens.
knowing it, yeah, and you're completely accurate in that. Um, it's like it's yeah, you're completely accurate, and I've spent my lifetime trying to unlearn. It's like I see that it's there. It's like I've literally tried, like my entire life has been unlearning and relearning the way that I should feel.
Okay.
It it's because nothing in my life is orthodox. Like it never has been. Like I remember, like my ex-wife ended up asking me one day, out of the blue too, like out of nowhere, she says, why does it always seem that I live my life by the seat of my pants? Like and I'm like, what makes you think I had a choice in this? Because I didn't, and that's the truth of it. It's like, you always hear people out here, interviewing, or, out here stunting like, I didn't choose this life chose me.
Right.
I embody that. It's like, it's in a lot of this stuff, I guess one of the things I think that has helped me get through, survive, is it's like, you know you always hear people talk about, what's your superpower? I'm adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And but it took a lifetime to learn to hone that power. Like it it's you always hear, people talk about, living life in the gray area and how you shouldn't do that. But when you're forced by circumstances that you had nothing to do with into the gray area, you learn. You will learn
Yeah.
to observe everything around you. And
Okay. So I mean, not necessarily wrapping it up, but that was really good, as far as to any adoptee that may see this. This is my
yeah,
advice. Um,
yeah, it's like I would hope that their journey has a happier end, if that's what you will, than mine did. But I'd rather people in my situation knew that, and it's like it's not even as if that adoptee out is not already aware of it. Because I think in a lot of people that are forced, I mean, good God, like I came into this world twisted. and I mean that. And like, it's just a different. I think that just anybody hearing this that is thinking about going down that road, if that's what you're gonna do, prepare to be ghosted because the other person
I mean, that's real.
may not want anything to do with you.
That's real. That's real.
I mean,
So, so I mean, I think that's the fear of the unknown, you know, because it could go both ways. Either they
mhm,
can accept you or they won't.
mhm.
So, do you go into it angry? Like,
I
I
mean,
haven't had them all these years. What's the point now?
I think you, as the adoptee, you go in open to whatever's about to happen.
Yeah.
Um, because like I remember probably the first conversation I ever had with my biological mom was, and I don't even think this was me being harsh. I think it was me being blatantly honest. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've been called wrong for this, but I disagree. But the first conversation I ever had with my mom, she said, "I'm trying to figure out how I feel," and I said, "Like a ghost."
What?
Yeah, for real.
What does that mean?
Imagine you're a 70-year-old, 70 some odd year old woman talking to the child that you gave up, and he's about to be 40. Gloves off from jump.
Not necessarily.
I mean, like I
So,
said, I don't feel no type of way about it. Like, it's, I mean, because the thing is, like, and the funny thing is, like, she told me, like, I mean, she'd been aware of me for all these years, and she even used to, before we even connected, I mean, she knows I'm a poet. she'd been, I guess, silently lurking my page for years.
well, maybe she missed you or she couldn't figure out how to process it or that's a lot to deal with too. I mean, I'm sure she had a feeling of resentment. I gave up my baby boy, you know. That's why I was asking, did you ever get a just cause or reason why? You know?
I
Was it
mean,
was
she
you taken
she,
from her or
she couldn't I mean, she could, and this is from her mouth. And again, you got to figure mother out of wedlock, bastard kid, 1979, small town Kansas. There's a stigma attached to that.
I get it. So I mean that could have made her feel horrible her whole life because maybe
Deservedly
she
so.
wanted maybe she
Deservedly
wanted
so.
you, but her parents wouldn't allow her to have you.
I mean, yeah, there's truth in that too. Like, yeah, she couldn't afford me.
It could have been that too.
All of that is in
So
play. All of that is in
yeah,
play.
but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily hold it against her. Maybe she opened it.
And,
You got to think
and
about
that's
it. She's
and
the
that's the
one who
thing.
opened it.
I don't hold it against it. I understand it. Does it
Well,
mean
you're
that I
saying
condone?
like gloves off. You're
Does
saying
it
like
mean?
gloves off, whatever.
I mean, but for real though, it's like, what you want me to beat around the bush for? You didn't. I mean,
That's
for
not
real.
fair. That's not fair.
Life
Nah,
ain't
that ain't
fair,
fair.
Kamisha. Come on. Life ain't
That's not
fair.
fair.
Life
Nah,
ain't fair. I embody that.
we don't know the circumstances.
I don't give a damn about the circumstances. I don't care. I'm good
That's
with the
okay.
situation. Like the fact is, it's like it's
What if she's scared to call you? What if she's scared of the rejection part? What if she's scared to, you know,
but who
after
is
she finally
but
got through
but
all
it's
this?
not me that rejected her.
You're not listening. You're not listening.
She's not listening. You know, it's like, I mean, she's the one who's under the misconception that I'm angry. I'm open to conversation. She isn't. So I'm not going to press the issue. She
Okay.
obviously doesn't want shit to do with me.
That's
And
not
I'm good
true.
with that. I mean, I'm 44 damn years old.
You still
I'm,
got your whole life ahead of you.
I'm 44 years old. I've been dealing with this my whole life. How you figure I'm the angry one?
You still
I
got your whole life
survived.
ahead of you.
I survived. Fuck am I angry for? I mean, it's like and I know this may even sound somewhat harsh, but I don't feel no way about it. The ball was put in her court, and I know for a fact she's been in my town.
Exactly. So you
And
do
she
feel a
kicked
way about
all
it. The ball was put in her court, and you're mad that she didn't pick up the ball.
indeed.
Well,
I'm not even sweating what she did in '79. She done this shit twice.
that's
You
not
ain't
me.
getting a third shot. I've been through this my entire life. I'm good.
So what about your kid brother? He didn't do nothing. Do you guys still
Not
have a relationship?
not for real. I mean, he's in the damn Navy, and I think last I knew he was in like, I mean, he's got his own life to lead too. I'm grateful I met him. I'm grateful to have the information, but
Did you
he's
take a
got his.
picture with him?
Oh yeah, those on Facebook.
Oh, I have to see it.
I'll see if I can pull it up and send it to you. Um, but yeah, like, yeah, he's got a family of his own too. Like, I don't, I like, and this is, maybe part of like me being Buddhist, right? But part of Buddhism is not expecting anything. And I think that that's really helped me let go. Even
Okay.
before I was Buddhist, it's like when you're like, somehow early in life, I realized I ain't got no choice. The fact that I'm adopted ain't going nowhere. Now it's either let go of your anger or let your anger do what anger does. And I wasn't down for that. So I let go of it years and years ago.
Okay.
Like, uh, I mean, it's just the journey has like been extraordinary. It
Yeah, I bet.
and I mean, and it's just, yeah, like she's evidently still got her own demons to deal with. and I'm not one of them. She's got to come to the realization that I'm not angry about this, but I am good on you.
Mm.
If that changes down the road, then cool. But I'm not coming in wanting anything from her.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not wanting nothing from her. Um
I mean, I
it
just think it's important to know your family, to know your lineage, especially health issues. I mean, I think it's very important
I
to at
mean,
least know.
and I agree, but then you even in my situation it's even a little bit more extraordinary because even if I were to end up finding out, like the story is still going to be incomplete regardless. Just because my biological dad's been dead before I was born. So I
But
don't
you have
have
his name though, right?
yeah, his last name is Council, and I still haven't had time to look up what his first name was. But yeah, like for real, when I sit here and tell you the day I found out I was French English, the cackle that came up out of my damn soul. But here's why. And Kamisha, you've known me for years, and I say this jokingly, and yet you fully know I'm dead serious. Now I understand why I run around wanting to slap folks.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, when I found out I was French English, I was through. I about
Yeah,
died.
you'll have to text me your bio parents name or the information that you do know.
What you got up your sleeve?
No, no, just to help you build a tree. I mean, like I said, it's always important to know.
I mean, yeah, it's like I've got her name. She's even searchable on Facebook. Um, yeah, yeah, I'll get that to you. But I don't know. There's like I said. I mean, when all of this shit started like happening, um, it was just a mad trip. Like, but I knew from jump, and like I said, like I've known my entire life, like that. Um, I've had a lot of this information my whole life, so I've had
So,
a
do you
lot of.
want kids?
Come again?
Do you want kids?
No,
Okay.
no. I think that's kind of a hatchet I buried a long time ago.
Okay.
A long,
Well, no,
long.
I was just going to say that, it will be important for your kids to know their lineage as well and to know,
Mm,
where they came
yeah,
from and so forth.
yeah, but now I think I decided a long time ago I didn't want kids just because, like, I mean, like I said, I mean, I understand why she did it. But for me, it's never been a question of why. It's always been a question of who. That's all I ever wanted to know.
Okay.
The why wasn't important. It never has been because I've known.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. This is small podunk Wichita, Kansas 79, and you just had a bastard. So her choices were simple. It was either give him up for adoption or raise him, even though you can't.
Yeah.
And a
That's
lot
still
of
a
this,
hard choice for a parent.
I bet
No
it was.
matter
I bet it
no
was.
matter the circumstances, especially speaking from a mother. I
Yeah,
couldn't imagine, carrying this baby, 9 months, bonding, and then, okay, gotta go. You know, were
man.
you at birth, giving up at birth, or at
Yes,
one?
at no,
Okay,
at birth. She never even laid eyes on me.
I'm sure she did.
I've
She
I've
had
heard
to.
I've heard otherwise.
How do you deliver a baby without looking at it?
Close your eyes.
Good night. Whatever, dude.
I'm just saying, like
Who does that? Who closes their eyes?
I but yeah, she as soon as I was born, the doctors took me out of the room. That was that.
We don't know that.
And a
I was
year
about to
later,
say neither one of us were there, but
yeah,
you don't know that.
but I was born and a year later I had a name that wasn't mine.
Yeah, but you kept your first name, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, no. I didn't because my birth certificate is Baby Dodge.
Okay.
Dodge was her maiden name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now Michael was given to me by my mom and dad,
Okay.
not her.
So
Yeah,
on your birth certificate, that's what it says?
indeed. I was
On your
born with
birth
that.
certificate, it says baby. Your
Indeed.
first name is baby?
Yeah.
No way.
My original birth certificate says Baby Dodge on God.
What?
I have my original birth certificate.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know, but I think like some of the uncanny shit that I've picked up on over the years is like I came into this world of nobody and I learned how to be anybody and everybody that I wanted to be.
Okay.
And I'm good with who I am. I have every reason to be the most angry person on the planet and I'm not. Hell, I think I laugh too damn much to be that.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate you, sir.
I
I
appreciate
really
having the
am not
opportunity.
about to hold you forever.
Word. But I do. I
So,
appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the fact that, like, well, like I said last time we talked, I appreciate the fact that my story caught you curious, and I'm grateful for
oh, of
that.
course.
I
Of course.
mean,
Of course.
because I like being adopted is something that I'll eternally be grateful for, but I'm not going to sit here in front like it wasn't traumatic or like it was easy because I came from a two-parent home. No, it wasn't easy at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't. And and for any adoptee, young or old, that is still dealing with the residual effects of adoption, it's okay to feel the way you feel because it's fucking valid. Um, but you really have one or two choices of what you can do with anger. You can either let it move you or you learn to use it. And I mean, and here I am, 44 years old. And in all actuality, I mean, I think being adopted has made me the empath that I know I am. You always, see, especially on socials, talking about, stuff talking about be kind. You never know what somebody else is going through, and I embody that shit.
Yeah.
So in a sense, like I said, the journey's been hard, and but I wouldn't trade it because it helped me figure out a lot of things that a lot of people just simply ain't figured out yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
um I'm grateful to my mom and dad because, like, and my mom's a teacher, and she can feel some type of way about this if she wants to. Because in all actuality, mom tried to take us out for Piper in like 1993. Oh, can you imagine me and Piper in 1993?
Ooh.
Oh, that would have been an ugly situation. Anyway, but yeah, like growing up, not only when, but where I did, but even more so, and I don't think I've ever really expressed it, like, and just I'm mad grateful for the ride, just because it's like somewhere along the line I learned to let my pain become my superpower.
Of course.
Anyway, again, I'm just mad grateful for the opportunity, and just to anybody going forward that's hearing this, like, it's okay. You're not alone out here. But if you're out here trying to connect with, possible family members, just be prepared because I mean, they've got their own lives too, and don't go in expecting nothing. Um, and if things go south, that the move of you going in expecting nothing somewhat liberates you from being hurt by it. You know, like, for I mean, for everything I've gone through, I think I came out okay.
All right.
It's taken a long time to get here, and I'm just yeah, I'm mad grateful. Um, until, like, if an if an adopting parent is out there and you're out here wondering, did you make the right choice by adopting that kid? I promise you, you did, even though it doesn't always look that way. That kid's gonna be okay. But you as a parent have to be willing to give that child room to feel the way they feel,
Yeah.
no matter what, because that child is entitled to feel the way they feel.